Shalom, welcome to Out of Africa Torah Session. My name is Tatra Cohen, and this week we are on the portion Tetzaveh, which is you are to order. It is, of course, coming from the book of Exodus 27 all the way to 30. I like this Torah portion. It presents something, like very strange. Like we were talking from the previous Torah portion about, the Mishkan and the people bringing gifts and the meaning of gifts and so forth. Mind you, from what we said previously, that the gifts which were being brought, they were meant for the Mishkan, and secondly, some of them were meant for the dressing of the priest, especially the high priest Aaron himself. And this really takes a very interesting approach, because it's more like we have entered Fashion Week. We have the Mishkan now. Let's dress according to the Mishkan. We have these promises. Let's dress accordingly. We have a job now. Let's dress according to the job. There is a wise man who once said, dress in a way you want to be received. Today, people dress in so many ways. I'm sure if you were to dress in a very funny way, people may consider you a comedian, and they would receive you in kind of a joke way, in kind of a funny way. And today we see people dressing in numerous ways, in many ways. And amongst the dressing, some even have invented uniforms, like the police, the army, those in the security, the teachers, especially here in Zimbabwe, in many African countries, the teachers are supposed to dress in a very formal way because of their job. And that's what we see with this Torah portion. The job has been defined, and now they are supposed to dress according to this job, beginning with the holiest man, in my opinion, which is the high priest Aaron himself. Now, with all this dressing being mentioned, I like, if you go to chapter 28 from verse 29, there's something very interesting mentioned there. It says Aaron is supposed to have to put 12 names representing the 12 tribes of the house of Israel, so that when he entered when he enters into the sanctuary, into the Mishkan, to present himself before Adonai, he should have these names representing the 12 tribes of Israel for the purpose of remembrance before the Lord. That is very interesting. And now I like what our sages tell us. They say that the phrase to say you should put on your breastplate to your heart the 12 names, it's actually saying that you should put in your heart the names of the 12 tribes. This is what our sages tell us, and it's very interesting from that perspective. Now, imagine the guy, or this holiest man, in my opinion, the high priest himself, goes in the holiest place to talk to our God, the creator of heaven and earth. And as he does this, he is bringing before God the names. And mind you, the phrase actually says at all times, meaning this is not like a one-time event. God wants to keep the memory of his beloved ones all the time, and this happened to be the children of Israel, the community which was there, the community that bears his name. God wants to have the memory of them, and everything that has to do with them always, at all time, in his presence. And that alone should give you and I hope, because today there are circumstances sometimes and situations we find ourselves in, and what do? They destroy the hope. But when you hear that God wants to have the memory of you, that really, changes the whole perspective. Today we have made all kinds, with the coming of technology, we have made all kinds of gadgets and inventions and innovations, like photography. We have got picture frames all over the place. We've got wallpapers of our beloved ones. you know, it could be family and so forth. We have got galleries. Some are, you know, in the soft copy kind of gallery, like for someone like me who doesn't like papers all over the place. I like to keep the memory of my beloved ones in my phone, in my tablet, in my iPad, everywhere you can think of. And that's exactly how God feels with the children of Israel. They are so beloved to him, to the point that he would want to see them every day. Every moment Aaron shows up before the presence of Adonai. Now, in as much as this Torah portion deals with the fashion week, remember the wise man once said, dress in a way that you would want to be received. But there's also a group, you know, especially, I don't know in your country, but in many countries, especially the United States, since they do a lot of Western movies which we watch, you find a group like the CIA, the intelligence. They usually don't dress according to their job. You find they like to blend in, so they dress in a way to mislead, which is also a good, in a way to disguise. So dressing is not always the case. Like if someone dresses like this, that's who they are. Sometimes others dress to disguise, to also mislead. So you may not really judge someone according to their dressing. At the same time, you may want to dress in a way you would want to be received. And this Torah portion, as much as it deals with fashion, it is really a great lesson for us. God wants to have the children of Israel at the heart of Aaron, so that each time when Aaron shows up, the memory of them, since they are beloved to him, is always before him. And that doesn't bother him. What does it mean to us to always before him? It means those times when we feel like we are distant, we are still beloved in his eyes. Those moments when we feel like we have no hope, those moments of hopelessness, we are still beloved in his sight. Those moments when we feel like we are alone, we are still beloved in his sight. No wonder Aaron had to have these names in his heart, always, at all times. I trust you are blessed with these words. Shalom. Thank you.